Southern Automotive Sports Report.
Welcome to the playoff edition of High School Playbook. I'm flying solo without my partner, Lauren Walsh, this Friday night. Now, they were in the Final Four just last season. East Forsyth just 2 wins away from a repeat trip to that state Final Four. East Forsyth hosting Huff. Now, prior to the game, East with a moment of silence in remembrance of former Huff player Devin Chandler. Chandler was one of the University of Virginia players killed earlier this week. First quarter, no score. Huff's Nolan Hauser with the game's first points from 40 yards away. He splits the uprights as Huff leads 3-0. Second quarter, East Forsyth finally gets things going on the offensive end. Facing fourth down, Jalen Rayner looking for Quayshawn Brown, 24 yards to the house. Eagles lead 7-3. Now just over 2 minutes to go before half. Rayner and the Eagles with a huge mistake. He is sacked by Anthony Walker. It's a loose ball. James Nest is there to recover it in the end zone. It's 6 points for Huff as East Forsyth's season comes to an end, falling 17-7 the final there. The Thomasville Bulldogs are running into the playoffs themselves. Dogs trailing 7-0 in this one early, but not for long. The big man, Shamon Smith, busts through the line, and he's smelling pay dirt. The 17 yards on the score. We're all tied up at 7. That's a good doggy there. Drogan goes up 13-7 in the half. Nigel Dula making that happen, a 3-yard score. Third quarter, they do that. Just John Ree Lucky dumps it off to Kayshawn Carpenter, and Carpenter's doing all the work from there. 34 yards to the house. Bulldogs reclaim the lead at 14-13. Late third, it's a trick play by the Wildcats to take the lead. Dula with the halfback pass to Zach Pinkerton, 25 yards on the score. Thomasville would trail 19-14 as the Bulldogs lose a heartbreaker, ending their season 19-14, the final there. Now over in Greensboro, Grimsley has been dominant all season long. Unbeaten, the Whirlies welcome Independence to town in what would be a shootout. The Whirlies fired up for an opportunity to advance to round 4. First quarter, the Fighting Chris Petersons of Independence open the scoring. Justin Little calling his own number on the score. Patriots lead 7-0. Now ensuing kickoff, the Whirlies are going to strike back, and they do so in a hurry. Terrell Anderson from his own end line. He's going to make a few defenders miss, and he's got no one else in front of him. He's off to the races, 100 yards to the house. It's a top play nominee as Grimsley leads 8-7. Now more from that Whirlies offense in the first half. Ryan Stevens calls his own number, and he's weaving around defenders as well, and they're not going to catch him either. He's in for 6 as Grimsley is moving on, winning 44-36 in this one. Eastern Alamance Eagles hosting Terry Sanford. Cool little intro there. Dante Garcia looking to get Terry Sanford on the board early. He dumps it off to Dre Jackson, who turns the corner, and he hits the Jets. He's in untouched for 6. Sanford leads early. Now later, Garcia again trying to make things happen, but his pass is intercepted by Gage Parson, and Parson is on the move, weaving around defenders before he's finally brought down by Bulldog defenders. Now later, Jason is going to hand the ball off to his main man, Joshua Murray, who's going to plow his way into the end zone for 6, but it's not enough in this one as the Eagles fall 27-17, the final there. State 4A playoffs, Southern Alamance in Wake County taking on Millbrook. Patriots down big early, but looking for a spark offensively. Getting tricky with Logan Fowles taking a handoff and throwing it downfield to Stanley Eno. That's a first down, but the drive would stall out. Second half, Millbrook's Mason Fortune hands it off to Xavier Pugh, and Pugh, he's off like a laser to the end zone. That puts the Wildcats up 28-0, but the Patriots still fighting. Mason Fortune's pass is grabbed by Caleb Franklin. That's an INT, folks. Southern Alamance would take the football, and that would spark some offenses on the ensuing drive. The handoff goes to Faust again, and he plows his way, moving the pile into the end zone for 6. That makes it 28-7, but Millbrook just too strong as Southern Alamance falls 35-7. The Cardinals have been flying high in Class 2A. Unbeaten East Surrey looking to continue their dominance, hosting Monroe in round 3. Pre-game handshakes between the Red Hawks and the Cardinals in the Battle of the Birds. First quarter, Folger Boaz is all business. He's looking long. He's got Luke Brown on the other end. Give him 6. East Surrey leads 7-0. East Surrey not done on offense. Kyle's in, takes the carry. He's in for the 2-yard score. 14-0 Cards. Now East Monroe would respond with some plays of their own. Kamani Robinson hits Jordan Young to move the chains on first down, and from there they would just take over the football game. Nate Crosby gets Monroe on the score sheet as the Red Hawks battle back to defeat East Surry 28-23 in that one. Staying up in the mountain, Mount Airy facing upset-minded Hayesville. The Yellow Jackets finding out early that the Granite Bears came to play. Mario Rebels calls Snatchy on the interception. That gives Mount Airy the football. An ensuing drive. Taylor Mason, he's been a beast all year. Give him 6. Mount Airy leads 14-0. Next, Mount Airy possession. I mentioned Tyler Mason being a beast with the football all year, and he's smelling pay dirt once again, powering his way into the end zone as Mount Airy shuts out Hayesville. 49-0 the final there. A couple scores to look at. Ledford falls to East Lincoln. Eastern Guilford also falling to West Henderson. A couple more scores here to take a look at as well. Reedsville with a shutout victory over Chase 30-0. Northwest Guilford finds their season ending in a 35-14 loss. Eastern Randolph with the victory 29-26. And Princeton ends coming season 63-55. And finally, we close out sports with the high school playbooks. Play of the week for 30-degree weather and round 3 of the state playoffs. There were a lot of good choices, but we have one winner. We head out to Greensboro where Grimsley's Terrell Anderson putting in the work, receiving the kickoff after an Independence touchdown, and he goes 100 yards to the house. Anderson would not be denied pay dirt as Grimsley keeps their season alive with the victory at home. Anderson also picking up the victory for play of the week.